Hey friends, it's Rana and it's been a while since I made my last quick review video, even though I really love making review videos and watching other people reviewing books, but I was doubting myself that I don't have important things to say about a specific book I read, but then I thought I call this series quick reviews so I don't have to pressure myself to go in depth reviewing these books. I just tell you what they are about and my thoughts on them. I don't have to be critically acclaimed to be able to review books I read on my small channel on YouTube. So, I'm here today to review a recent favorite book called The Body Keeps the Score by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. The Body Keeps the Score is a nonfiction book talking about how trauma affects the human body, and especially focusing on war veterans, SA and rape survivors, given that they are the majority of his patients. The book is divided into 5 parts: the rediscovery of trauma, this is your brain on trauma, minds of children, the imprint of trauma, and paths to recovery. This book took me exactly 2 months to finish. Even though I was really loving it and learning quite a lot of important things from it, it is just that I didn't want to just quickly read it and be done. I wanted to absorb it, to understand every line I'm reading, and to annotate it at my own speed, to benefit from it to the maximum. I love the entire book, but my favorite part would definitely be the second part, Your Brain on Trauma. This book explains in details how the body reacts to different levels or different types of trauma and stress, and Dr. Bessel does that by telling us the stories of his patients, their trauma, how it affected their lives and bodies, and how eventually he treated them or tried to better their lives. Of course, he didn't do that in one night. It took him several years of study, research, experiments, and trials. Some he did from scratch by himself, and other he developed with other doctors. Also, he talks about the effects of drugs/medicine and how they can be negative sometimes and positive in other times, also finding new ways of therapy to treat people suffering from PTSD. I learned many interesting things from this book. For example, let me give you 3 examples because there are so many things I learned from this book. The first thing is that some overweight people actually struggle with losing weight because it is their body's reaction to trauma. Another thing that I learned, and it was very shocking, is that trauma can actually alter one's genes, and their future kids might inherit these bad genes from their parents who went through trauma. It also discussed why trauma caused or inflicted by family members is much worse on the human body than any other kind of trauma. Of course, I'm not gonna sit here and discuss each point that I found interesting in this video because it's gonna take a lot of time. You just need to read this book to find out more. Even if I did that, no matter how much I tried, I won't be able to give it justice. I just came here to tell you that I want you to read this book. If you even have this small contemplation that you wanted to read this book, just go and do it. You won't regret it. It is one of the most informative, important, helpful books I ever read. 2023 hasn't been the best reading year for me, quantity or quality wise, but this book is definitely one of the best books I read so far, if not the best book I read, and I'm here to just convince you to go pick it up and try reading it. It is the best nonfiction book I read this year and I love it. So that's it for today's quick review. I know it was shorter than usual, but as I said, it is not a review. It is just me trying to convince you to read this book. So that's it. Please subscribe to see my future videos and I will see you next time. Bye!